In downtown OKC, matchup number 2 of the day indeed comes with a championship pedigree. Trilogy, who won the inaugural title, led by Kenyon Martin, coached by Rick Mahorn, and now it's the enemies. So not only 0-2 start to 2-2, but you beat off previously unbeaten Power and Killer Threes last 2 weeks, and so Trilogy, White on the wing, gets the first one up. That's a long two for White.
What that did is gave this team a lot more confidence, stuck with the rotation they had, enabled them to continue with that hot streak. I think driving lanes for perimeter players, when you have shooters that can also be your post players and set picks.
Jones off the bounce. Perry Jones, shake, tough 2 goes for Perry Jones. Frank Robinson. Jones has the board. Second chance, kick out. Smith nails the 3. Craig Smith off the offensive rebound from Perry Jones.
Yeah, able to spot up again. The offensive rebound. Once you make a quick decision like that, for me, it's all about now making the play. And Craig Smith showing why, he's averaging 21, a little under 22 points a game.
Whew. And then another nice dish from Perry Jones to Craig Smith. 9-2 start for enemies.
And it just seems like the enemies are more engaged and locked in right now. The second shots, they're quicker to the basketball, getting layups. Speaking of layups, Hawk right there. Excellent use of the pick and screen up top to get himself to the basket.
9-4 now, but a 9-2 start for enemies with Royce White and Gilbert Arenas both on the bench right now for the enemies. Hawkins attacks down the baseline, drops it off at the last second, and O'Brien flies in. White. Hawkins on Jones. 5 to shoot. Step back. 2 for Hawkins, and a tough step back 2. James White creating his own shot on Smith from the elbow, and Trilogy, after trailing 9-2 early, 8 straight. And we'll see Royce White sub in for the enemies. So Robinson gets a start. Here comes Royce White, who has been dynamic in season 1 of the Big Three.
Royce also is very tuned in and dialed into, MMA fighting. Once we were still coming off of being in shape and playing would be kind of a catalyst. But Craig Smith, I think he said it best. He came in ready to play.
And so did Royce White, so that's White's first bucket. And dare I say, there was some physical nifty. I don't know.
Just the love of the sport and what he wants to accomplish out of it.
White's been a big presence for the enemies as well. First year in the Big Three. Smith takes a pop and takes a tough tumble.
Well, deep post-up position right here. Hawk knows that he's beaten. So what you do is you don't allow your opponent to get the shot up.
Craig Smith, 6 years in the NBA. Last stop with the Blazers. So we're back to even. The 1 shot, 2 points, even at 13. Both teams have gone on early runs, and now we're back to 13. Halftime comes at 25. Playing to 50, have to win by 2. Hawkins crossover, takes it in White. That's a goaltend, count the bucket. 9 now for David Hawkins. And on a hot day, we'll see if Arenas can get the hot touch. Carlos Arroyo in for Trilogy as well. Been big off the bench, part of Trilogy's success in the back-to-back wins. James White, tough 2 around Arenas.
White was going to try to muscle his way in, but how about the balance and coordination and then the soft touch creativity to spin it off the glass and get the 2.
Perry Jones nails it. Triple in the corner for Perry Jones. Back to a 1-point game.
You think you got it down packed until you kind of get into it. And now as you play Arroyo with the 3-point shot, you find little wrinkles, and then you start to find a comfort zone on where your game fits in within the system.
White easy 2. Trilogy back on top. Top 4 teams make the playoffs. First stop New Orleans and on to LA for the championship. Arenas floater on Arroyo, rattles it home. Agent 0 from the baseline, his first bucket.
Again, both teams just trading buckets right now. It's a team that can, kind of get a couple consecutive defensive stops, get a good couple offensive possessions, put yourself in a good position as a leader going into halftime. And speaking about offensive possessions, right now Hawk just can't be stopped.
Hawk 11 of Trilogy's 21 and a 3-point lead. It was a 9-2 start for the enemies. Then the Hawk has gotten hot. Arenas trying to answer on Arroyo, poked away. Hawkin saves it. Easy 2 for Arroyo off the steal from Hawkin.
Where now Trilogy, who has momentum, is able to just grab the basketball and then finish inside. So if I'm Rick Mahorn in that last huddle, 1, let's stop beating ourselves. 2,
fresh shot clock, so now it's Arroyo crossing over Smith, creating for the Hawk. Hard to the rim. Hawk finally finishes it off. It was a tough 2 for Hawkins, but sticking with it and sending us to halftime. Hawkins and now Smith. This is a critical one. You got 2-2 Trilogy, enemies at 3-1. Enemies have won 3 straight. Trilogy back-to-back.
Good D that time, and you see Gilbert Arenas starting the second half along with Royce White, giving you a little bit more maybe offensive firepower. But the defense right now with the enemies is the one area that has not stepped up to par yet.
And James White buries the triple to give Trilogy its largest lead. 8 straight for Trilogy, an 11-0 run quickly comes to an end.
I like the move by Royce White. A little power right there, a little shoulder right into the chest of Sam Young to create the space. Watch this, spin move baseline. I got you, big fella. Inside, you don't stop me, I'm gonna make you pay.
Royce White and the enemies, 0-1 start to the year. Have won 3 straight. White came off the bench along with Gilbert Arenas in the first half, but as Jim pointed out, beginning the second half, looked like Young out of the game with an issue with his hand after getting called for the foul. Patrick O'Brien back in for Trilogy. Hawkins 21 each of the last 2 weeks in Trilogy wins. Hawkins finds O'Brien inside. O'Brien able to spin it in. And the big man from Bradley. Back to a double-digit lead for Trilogy.
You see how far O'Brien is playing back off of Royce White. Now, it's 2 things with that.
Goaltend count the 2. White has the board. White, quick flip. Smith in the corner for 3. Off the assist from Royce White. So now Royce White in tight. Block, looks like White got a piece of it, and now finally something goes in for Trilogy. Arenas trying to spark the enemies. O'Brien got a piece of it, so that is an easy 2 for David Hawkins.
Yeah, I mean, that was an obvious push-off. I mean, so now Roy sold it a little bit more, but it worked in his favor. Beautiful pass.
Ooh, Arroyo to O'Brien.
Beautiful pass. If they can manufacture some kind of pick and roll, get to the basket.
Smith faces up, gathers Smith, tough 2. It's been tough all day with Sam Young on the post. Young hasn't scored yet in the game. After 13 last week, Young on Smith, that's a tough 2. Smith fouled from behind by Young, but only 4 for 12 shooting now. Smith 1 shot, 2 points, down to 7. Smith clears, attacks on Arroyo.
Good help that time by David Hawkins on the double.
Hawkins takes it away, attacking, trying to close it out. Arroyo triple. Off the look from Hawkins. 8 points away from a 3rd straight win.
Yeah, you can make a run, especially having a 4-point shot here, but also getting yourself in the penalty, being able to retain possession. See right here, now you got a opportunity. Now it's an 8-point lead. It's on the opposite side, but he squared himself back up in the corner. Hawk made the right play once again.
Rolls out for Smith. That's the way it's gone all day for the big scores for the enemies. Hawkins hits the long 3. 2 points away from a 3rd straight win for Trilogy.
See, when you make the right play, Craig, it comes back and it rewards you later on. And that time, Hawk able to get right back and knock in it.
Hawkins to try and close it out. Hawkins in tight on Jones. Banging. Gives it up Arroyo. Still time. 5 to shoot. Arroyo crossover. Arroyo blocked at the last second. Smith has the easy 2 for the enemies. And now back to Trilogy. Another chance to close it out. Arroyo and Hawkins on the wings. James White has it on Craig Smith, and he will end it himself with the wave to the enemies. A third straight win for Trilogy. They've taken out previously unbeaten Power, the Killer Threes, and now the 3-1 enemies. Kenyon Martin's Trilogy team is rolling with a hug for the man who helped lead him to a championship in the Big Three.